to the Monumental Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Q. Here we focus on tapping into our fullest potential to become our best possible selves. Each and every Monumental Monday, we will release a new episode with the word of the week, as well as break down a monumental metaphor or phrase, depending on the week, to incorporate in our daily lives that will aid us to live our best lives. If you are a fan of the show, please like, subscribe, comment, and follow at Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms. Today, our word of the week is adventures. And we're going to talk about what does that mean and how to just have a more adventurous life. Adventures is simply an exciting or unusual, typically risky, bold, or sometimes hazardous experience or activity. Why is having adventures important in life? Because many times we use adventures to get that psychological arousal, that wonderful rush of adrenaline. And sometimes people use adventures to learn more, to get new heights, or to go to a different level, to experience new things, or for knowledge. Sometimes people want to beat a world record or really want to prove to themselves that they can climb Mount Everest. Whatever it is that people use adventures for, adventures are definitely important in life, and it brings life, it makes it more enjoyable. Life without adventures is just boring. Like, who wants to live a boring life? I saw a quote that said, when you die, you don't want to die and have your body and your mind just all nice and prettied up with the bow. You want your life to be something where it was like, whew, that was one heck of a ride, because you enjoyed it, you lived it to the fullest. Adventures is really about living your life out to the fullest, understanding that there is so much out there for you to explore. Why not go and see what all the world has to offer for you? When you live a life full of adventures, you have all these different stories to tell, all these different memories. And life is really about creating memories, not just about creating possessions or items that you can show off, but what is it that you have experienced? What adventures have you taken? What have you done that just brings you this feeling of, wow, I actually did it? I remember being in Mexico, and it was a group of us, and they had given us the opportunity to jump off a cliff into a natural water body of water. And it was three cliffs, and the cliffs got higher and higher and higher. And I jumped off the first one, and I was like, okay, let's do it, run and jump. And now it was time for the second one. It was like, ooh, this one a little higher, but you know what, I'm gonna do it. So jump off the second one. And the third one was really high. And me and my friends, we looked at each other and we said, listen, are we gonna do this? And on a count of three, we just ran and jumped. And it was the most exhilarating experience. It was so fun. We got pictures of us in the air with our fingers, like, like just understanding, like, wow, this is something that we did. Taking those adventures are amazing. You have those stories to tell. I always tell the story about my husband who did not jump off the cliff. He acted like he was going to jump for like 5 minutes and decided, you know what, no. But he said the water was too clear and you can see the rocks, and he felt like he was going to hit the rocks. So he didn't want to jump into the water. But it was just some really nice crystal clear water. But it's all about taking that jump at life. The same thing when it comes to doing different activities. I remember getting on these ATVs and riding ATVs through the water, through the rainforest. Oh my goodness, one of the most interesting experiences ever. But it was so fun, and riding through the water, riding through rivers and everything. It just gives you that excitement, and you have those stories to tell, and those adventures really are memories that you can create for yourself or with others, and you can just tell it to other people, and it brings that sauce to your life. It brings that fun to your life. And life is all about having fun. Sometimes we take life too serious, okay? Yes, we all work. Money, what is that quote? It said, jobs fill your pockets. So everybody has a job or a business or whatever it is that you do that brings you money. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Your job is supposed to bring you money, fill up your pockets. But adventures are to fill your soul. They are to help you explore and really feel alive. What is life without adventure? A boring cycle with no excitement. Let's add that spice. Let's add that adventure. Let's add that fun and that enjoyment because it really makes a difference. It makes life worth living. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you have to get out of that box of, oh, this is all that I know, so this is all that I'm going to do. Because that's one of the worst things that you can do. The most dangerous thing that you can do in life is play it safe. Why play it safe? Why? No one wants to live a boring life. Sometimes you have to take the risk. Sometimes you have to take the jump. Sometimes you have to take that journey and enjoy that journey. How can you enjoy the journey called life if you don't take the risk, if you don't take the adventures, if you don't live it to its best abilities? Our job and our goal is to live our best lives. How you living your best life when you playing it safe and you bored? You can't live your best life bored. You got to live your best life by taking life in your hands and doing whatever it is that you want to do with it, because that's what life is all about. I love taking adventures. I love traveling. I love going different places and trying new foods and everything of that nature, because adventures really just gives you that purpose. It gives you that reason for living. I'll give you one more example. I remember being, I like to travel overseas a lot. So if you hear a lot of stories about, Mexico or the DR, Costa Rica, and that's because I really like to travel. I really like to explore. I really like to take adventures because I like to go places that I've never been and meet people I've never met and try foods I never had. And sometimes it's a little difficult because I don't eat certain foods, but to try their different fruits. And oh my goodness, I remember being in Jamaica and they cut open this fresh mango. It was the juiciest mango that I have ever tasted. It was so good. We went back and got like 3 mangoes to take to them. Like, can you cut up 3 more for me? Because I can eat these mangoes all day. Trying the different foods and the freshness of the fruits, and it just brings like, oh my goodness, it make your taste buds dance. Like, good, what kind of mangoes do we have in America? Because our mangoes don't taste like those mangoes. It makes a difference. So trying those different foods gives you like that sense of, wow, there is more out there. There's better than what it is that I'm used to. And then you get to experience different cultures. I love experiencing different cultures because you start to realize what is important to other people. You start to realize what are things that you have on your, and you have access to on the daily basis that other people do not have. And those things you can take for granted. It gives you a reality check. I remember being in the DR where we were. I think we were in Puerto Plata. Yes. I remember being in Puerto Plata and riding around, and I saw 7 people on one moped. The man was driving, the woman was in the back. She had a kid on her back. It was a kid sitting between their legs, and she had 2 babies on each side. Like 7 people on one moped. And they made it happen and they got there. I don't know where they was going and I don't know where they were coming from, but I do know that they got to where it was that they were headed. I asked a gentleman who was giving us a tour, hey, this is amazing. I really like, what I'm seeing so far. He was like, yeah, sometimes you only see the front. He said, but you all couldn't survive living here. I said, why? He said, because the water is going to go off at a certain time. You wouldn't have access to the luxuries that you are used to. Electricity is minimal. Having Wi-Fi only work in certain areas of the island. And it's like, wow, that's absolutely true because we're so used to it in America, where when you go other places, they don't have what it is that we use on the daily basis. And these are things that we can take for granted. So going on different adventures give you that reality check of, okay, I need to be more appreciative and grateful for what it is that I have as well. And you get to explore and see different things and try different foods and really make the best of your journey, make the best of your life, and really live your life to the fullest. I am here today to encourage you Take the adventures. It is your life, and you really only get one. So if you only get that one life, live it to the fullest. Do all of your craziest dreams and desires. Whatever it is that you want, do it. Now, I do have something else for you all. These are just some cute little tips, 5 little tips on how to make your life more adventurous. Doing these are going to help expand your mind. It's going to build your bravery. How would it feel if you went somewhere that you never went before and you around people that you never met before? And sometimes you probably don't even speak the language. Oh, that's a brave thing to do. It builds your bravery. Not only that, it also gives you the opportunity to learn and to grow. So these 5 different things on how to make your life a little bit more adventurous will help you live your life to the fullest. The first tip I have is this: a bucket list. Everybody makes a bucket list, right? Well, I want you to make 3 different types of bucket lists, because sometimes we feel as if in order to have an adventurous life, you have to leave and you have to go here, you have to do this. No, how about this? Make a bucket list for your local area. A local bucket list, because sometimes we have hidden gems in our own backyards that we don't know about. Look up different restaurants that you haven't tried in your area. Look up different national parks that can be an hour away that could have a beautiful waterfall, and it can be right here an hour from where you live. Look up local things. Make a local bucket list. It can be 3 to 5 items, whatever it is. Make a local bucket list. Look up a national park within my state and see what it is. Now, also make a domestic bucket list. A domestic bucket list is going to be that bucket list of different states that you want to travel, different monuments that you want to see within those states, whether it's going to Washington, D.C., or going to California, going to see the Statue of Liberty, going to see the Grand Canyon. That can be your domestic bucket list. That can be the bucket list that is things that you want to do within inside the United States, domestic flights. Then you have your international bucket list. Now, the international bucket list is going to be that trip to Egypt where you can see the pyramids of Giza. It's going to be that trip to Dubai so that you can go and see I forgot the name of that big building, but you know what I'm talking about. So you can go and see the Taj Mahal, so you can go to Israel, so that you can go to China, so that you can go to Korea, so that you can go to Maldives. That would be that international list. That international list can go on and on and on, just like the domestic and the local list. But make those different lists. That way you can strive to check those things off. The second thing is cook or eat different foods. Trying something different from another culture. There's a restaurant not far from me that's a Korean restaurant. There's an Indian restaurant. There's an African restaurant. There's a Jamaican restaurant. There's a Dominican restaurant. Try the different foods. Of course, there's a Mexican restaurant. I love Mexican food. And then whenever you go to different restaurants, try something new. I am very guilty of ordering the same thing from almost any restaurant that I go to. If they have a buffalo chicken salad, I'm going to have that. If they have a buffalo chicken sandwich or a wrap or something of that nature, that is like my go-to meal. But sometimes we have to spice it up and switch it up a little bit. So even if you want to order your main thing, get a side of something different to try. Ask them what's their favorite dish, that their most popular dish, so that you can try it out. That's another way that you can add some more adventures to your life. The third thing is plan a trip. Now, it doesn't have to be an international trip. It can be on your local or your domestic bucket list. But proper planning will help you be more adventurous, because now you have it set in stone. And sometimes unplanned trips are the best trips. Sometimes if you realize, oh, I got this extra day off that I didn't know about, I'm going to drive up the town and see what the world has to offer here in this town. I want to go and try this. I want to go and see that. Do it. Take those trips, day trips, weekend trips, week trips. Use your PTO, your paid time off. Use it. Use it wisely. Don't just use it to sit around the house, but use it to explore. Use it to go on adventures. Use it to see something new. The third thing is festivals. Many times we sleep on festivals. There are a lot of different festivals. We have a Greek festival, an Italian festival. We have an okra festival. It's so many different types of festivals that happens in our local communities that we don't even go to. Go to the different festivals. Learn about the different cultures. Try the different foods. I love going to the Greek festival so I can get a gyro or a gyro, depending on how you pronounce it. I call it gyro. But go to these different festivals, try their different foods. I love Greek salads. It's always amazing how we sleep on different things that's right there in front of us. Go and see what it's all about. Go to some free stuff. I like free stuff. Festivals are usually free to get in and you just pay to eat. And then you can look and see what other people got and say, oh, that looks good. Okay, I think I'm going to go and get that. Because you're eating with your eyes first. And you get to see the different types of foods and the different music that they have playing and the different bands and things of that nature. Go to these festivals and explore. And the fifth thing is learn a new hobby. Learn something new. Rather that's learning a new language, learning to crochet, learning the garden. Just learn something new. That can bring more adventure to your life. And then when you learn something new, guess what? When you start to search for these different things and say you're learning how to sew and now you're in the sewing aisle or you at Joann's Fabrics or some other place, a Hobby Lobby or wherever it is that you are shopping for your supplies. And you're going to run into somebody else that's on that aisle or one of the workers who is interested or do the same thing that it is that you're looking at doing. And then guess what? You're going to start to build a relationship with that person. And now you got a new friend and your circle is expanding with people who is interested in what it is that you're interested in. And that's amazing because now you start to grow and meet new people. So utilize these different tools to add more adventure to your life. We will now transition to our second part of the show, which is our metaphor. Our monumental metaphor for this week goes hand in hand with our word of the week, adventures. Our metaphor is adventure is not the food of life, but adventure is the spice of life. When you are eating and you're cooking in your kitchen and you got this good old food brewing up, you got to add some spices and some seasons to it because no one wants any boring or bland food. That's the same thing with life. Adventures is going to be the spice, the seasonings that you add to your life. So whether it's oregano, a little seasoned salt, lemon pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, y'all know how to cook. Not just a little salt and pepper. You got to add a little bit more than that so that your food tastes delicious. Your plate looks good. You got it drizzled with a little garnish. That is what adventures is going to do to your life. It's going to add that spice. It's going to garnish it off real cute. Y'all know that video. He'd be like, and you move your fingers. It's like you're dropping a little bit of that oregano or garnish on your food. That is what adventures do to your life. Adventures brings that spice, that seasoning, that goodness, that soul that you need to live your life to the fullest. So to wrap it up, live your life to the fullest. We don't want to have any bland or boring lives. We want to be enjoying our lives. We want to take adventures and try something different, whether that's locally, domestic, or international. We're going to make different bucket lists so that we can see what hidden gems are in our own backyard. We're also going to make sure that we plan accordingly. Make the intentional plan to go different places that we have never been. We're going to try different foods. We're going to try different recipes. Even if you're cooking, you can try different recipes to make. We're also going to make sure that we look at these local festivals that are going on. And we're going to go and experience them. We're going to try their foods and listen to their music and meet their people and learn about their culture. And you can also learn a new hobby because adventures is going to help you become more brave. Taking adventures are going to help you to grab every opportunity that is presented to you. Live your life to the fullest. Take adventures. Make sure that you add that spice to your life. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you are enjoying what you are hearing, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow at Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms so that we can interact and connect, of course. And until next time, always remember that the sky is not the limit because there is more out there beyond the clouds. Peace.